Hello, this is Ryan from Building Body, Mind, Soul here at ironmartialartsonline.com, and today we've been getting a lot of requests for the idea of punching versus palm healing. We're just going to remind people why we teach palm heel and open palm first over punching. First obvious reason, just to remind people, wrist wraps. You don't have wrist wraps in real life. That's why, I work in the emergency department. You talk to anybody who works in the ER, they'll tell you that they see these fractures, these boxer fractures and wrist sprains all the time from people punching in street fights. The idea that people get away with throwing crazy haymakers in mixed martial arts in the ring or in the cage is because they're wrapping the wrist so well, so you can get away with that. In real life, you have nothing, right? And that's why when you slip and fall, you don't fall like this on your knuckles, you fall like this, because that's how we were made and we were built. Your brain knows better and smarter to do this as opposed to land like this. The other thing is, remember, you get the hook, so as long as you're not holding out like this, which you shouldn't be, it should be thumb tucked, just to remind you, reviewed other videos there, but thumb tucked and in a tiger claw stance like this, right? So if you miss and something hits the top of your fingers, you're safe that way. You don't ever want to do this, because if you catch something on the top of the fingers this way, that will break, but not like this. But you also have the claw built in. So when you have these hooks to rake, that's when you can start practicing on what I would say is a Hydrobag, something. This is 75 pounds, so once you learn to rock something bigger and heavier than the human head, because remember, headshots are what's going to count when you're doing anything, punching or palm healing. I'll swap a punch to someone's head, to an opponent's head, for a punch to the gut, but not the other way around. It doesn't make sense. So you're going to go ahead, and when you practice striking high and high guard and covering in your strikes, having your rakes here with the tiger claw, you can go ahead and start doing a lot of interesting things. So when you're doing jab cross and you're snapping in, you can go ahead, pull, rake, and every time we do that slow, jab cross, rake, and roundhouse, that rake is so you can go ahead and it facilitates. So when you're going jab cross, rake, roundhouse, the rake is facilitating the movement. So if somebody's hand is up there, that's great. You have that momentum to open them and come around. And if not, who cares? You're grabbing open air automatically in the movement of the body. So it doesn't really matter. If you catch somebody's hand or wrist to pull down, great. That's like icing on the cake. And if not, who cares? It's still the same functional movement. So I would say start practicing with Hydrobag, just open hand with your palm heel versus your fist, and that's why people will tell you you don't hit heavy bag without wrapping the wrist in something. You're going to mess up your knuckles and maybe really hurt your hand. Yeah, so, and same thing with this, with Hydrobags, but this is representing real life. So yes, the human head doesn't weigh as much as this thing, but you have to be comfortable striking something hard and fast without something comforting, protecting your wrist. And I think if you just do a little bit of experimentation with palm heel versus fist, it's a pretty clear-cut winner for how to train in real life. And a quick word to all my mixed martial arts students: that you're allowed to go ahead in some competitions, not all, you have to definitely check the rules, but to hit open hand with palm heel. And even if you are, the only thing I would remind you with the rake, it's completely legitimate in most competitions to pull down somebody's guard. Just make sure you don't ever do a face rake. That will get you disqualified quickly. But just pulling down somebody's hands, somebody else's hands, pulling down to open them up, you can do that. And so the rake can be applied even in ring fighting and cage fighting, again, provided that specific, competition and tournament, allows it. So there you have it. Have fun with your tiger palm healing, and see you next time.